Welcome everybody. This is going to be my review of a Pelican Trailblazer 100. This kayak I modified for bass fishing and any kind of fishing, I guess. So I will show you all the mods that I've done and how I rig it up when I go out fishing. So starting from the front, this comes with every one of them. Just a bungee cord system. I don't really use this very often. I put my bilge pump over here. And also I lay my net on top of this. And coming up next over here, I have a Scotty mount. This is where I actually put in my camera, my front-facing camera. Then I have a Garmin Striker 4. This is where the mount is, and the two cables, one power, one transducer cable. And this is another Scotty mount. This one I use for the rod holder. So just to show you how I did the cables here, so as you can see, I drilled a couple of holes here, and they just sit here and they go under here. You got a zip tie. Let me come around here. I have cable going right there, and there's a zip tie here. Most of the cables I just bundle them here. No zip tie here. And then what I do. That's my paddle holder. I drilled another hole here, you can see. And then what I did is there's a little groove over here. I went in and put it all the way in here, cable, and then I actually used some silicone to keep it in there. So I basically flipped the kayak, put the cable in, and just poured the silicone in to actually hold the cable in place for the transducer. Okay, so what I did with the transducer is actually on the back here. So I got a little creative here. I got a pretty long nut. As you can see here on top, there's a just a nut in here, and a PVC. That's I believe it's a 1 inch, half inch, I can't remember. Then I did one of these end caps. I had to actually I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Let me see if I can zoom in here. I had to actually strip out these edges a little bit. And then I drilled it through, put a nut on one end, and then this comes with this, so I mean you can just use that as long as you drill this through. Fine. One word of advice is, because I actually destroyed one of the transducers, was because I made the cable too tight, and then as I was backing up from the lake, coming out of the lake, I hit the transducer and basically pulled the cable out of it. Made it unusable, so I had to actually buy another one. So I recommend leaving some slack like I did over here. And see, I have two zip ties here. Okay, so going back here, so that's the transducer cable. If we go back for my power, like I said, both of them are going coming here, and then my power. So what I did is this is the SAE cable type connector, which is really easy to set up. So basically I'm only using the white and red. The other two cables that were there. So what I did is this connector comes with these cables, so I actually connected them, soldered them, and put a shrink wrap tubing around it, and then I zip tie this. The other two cables not really needed, so I just wrap them around here. And I basically leave a little bit of slack here so I can connect my battery here, and I'll show you that in a minute. Another mod that I did was putting a bungee cord in here. You could put a drink in here. I mean, this comes without it, but you put a drink in here, and it's always like falling off. And so basically, what I had, I figured that this is a good place to put it, so I can put my drink in here, and it will actually hold it, like water. And then also, I put a leash here for my paddle, so I hook it up to here, and that way I can easily paddle with this. And I go into the back. This kayak out of the box doesn't come with any kind of rod holders, like so I had to buy these. They're pretty easy to install. You basically drill a hole, and then 3 screws, and you can put that in. They're pretty much like ready for it, but they don't come with it. I mean, I think you can buy a model that is more for like a fishing type, but it costs almost $100 more. You can buy these pretty cheap. You can do it yourself. I also put these pet eyes on both sides. This is so when I put my rods in here, if I put my rods in here, I have a leash for my rods. So I basically hook it up here, so in case I flipped or anything, my rods are actually being leashed out, so they're not going to disappear on me. I also did pad eyes here and there, and I will show you that this is basically, I'm using this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then I use this for my milk crate, and I just set it up here, and I put bungees all over for all these 4 connectors there. Okay, I also have installed anchor system. So as you can see, little pad eye here. I got this paracord going to a pulley here, another one of those here, and basically that loops here, and I can move things around either from the back all the way and go on the other side here. Really useful. So I will show you my anchoring system in a minute, but basically that's what I had to do. Makes the life easier. Same thing on the back. You got a pulley and this as well. Okay, so this is my kayak, how it's stripped out right now. There's not much to it. That's how I transport it. And then with that, I also have a milk crate, which I'm going to show you. Alright, so I'm going to try to do this. This is my milk crate, and I'm going to show you how I'm rigging the kayak as I was about to get on the water. Okay, So first of all, what I do is I have this cushion that I put on the back here. Actually, just sits like that. I have a strap for it too, but you know, usually I don't put it on. Then I have this pretty cheap thing. You can get that at any Home Depot or any kind of gardening stores. So that's what I put. It actually makes it a little bit easier for me to do this. You just sit on this, especially if you're sitting long hours. You know, I usually, you know, sit about 4 or 5 hours on the water, so I want to be as comfortable as I can be. All right, next thing is my net, and as I said before, this is my it's a net that I got at the Dick's Sporting Goods. So usually what I do is I leave that on top here, and I use this pad eye to hook up my net so I don't lose it. And it gives me a lot of room, you know, where I can stretch it out and even leave it in the water if I needed to catching a fish. So I just leave it here sitting. Alright, next up is my daily tackle box. I can show you what I have in here, but I just have essentials. I used to bring a big bag, and I would just put it up here. But you know, sitting on the water for about 4 hours, 5 hours, you know, it was just, you know, killing my legs. So they decided I'm gonna scale it down and you know, go with something smaller that I can actually fit on the side. So you know, I got my swim baits, jigs, all kinds of things, you know, crankbaits, my tools, pliers, scissors, and some extra stuff in here. Yep. You know, I usually bring 3 rods with me, so they're already rigged up. But you know, you can break off and you need to switch out things, try different things. So that's pretty much all I need. I mean, I don't need anything else for short sessions, like 4 or 5 hours, you know, should be fine. And the way I put this in when I'm going on the water, there's this little slot in here. Just put it like this, and that just goes in there perfectly. If I need it, I just pull it out, you know, take whatever I need. So I store it here. Alright, moving on. Here's my life jacket. I'm gonna put that away for now. And what else we got in here? My belch pump. I always bring belch pump. So as I said, I'm using the front here. Let me move this out of the way. I'm using the bungee. See if I can do this with one hand. Yeah, just like that. Sorry, I had to put the camera down. And just, you know, this is okay. Like I said, I mean, it doesn't really bother the net being there. Alright, what else? Coming up next. I always bring, I know this is not a true waterproof thing, but you know, you put your wallet in here. I put my wallet in here, just a simple. It's got a rubber seal. It's actually, you know, it will keep the water out. But I put my keys in here. I put my wallet, whatnot, my fishing license, I usually keep it in my phone in here, and that comes handy. So that for now, I'll just put it here. Okay, coming up next, it's my battery pack. Let's see if I can put this here and show you guys this. But it's, I mean, you can find YouTube on YouTube a lot of tutorials about how to build this. It's basically a 12 volt 9 ampere battery. Show you, I can open this really quickly. It's pretty straightforward. Not much to it, And I say, as you got the same type of connector as I showed you before. So what I do with the battery, let me knock this down. So I take the battery. Let me go on the other side so I can show you. Okay, I take the battery and I put it out down here for now. All right, let me see if I can put the. And then you basically take the cables and put it in. And it's connected now, as you can see. And then the way I store the battery, I put the cables in there and then store the battery all the way in the back here. So it's not even visible. It's out of my way, nothing, it's not bothering me. Come next, I have my fish finder. It's a Garmin Striker 4. So I usually just mount here, and you can see, and then you hook up the cables on the back, which I'm not gonna do right now. As you can see, there's I don't know if you can see it here, but there's like you got power, and then you got transducer. So you put that in there. I mean, I like it because it's small and pretty cool. Fish finder. I mean, it's got GPS on it as well. So for small kayaks like this, I highly recommend it. Coming up next, it's my rod holder, my front rod holder. So what I do, it's a Canon. What I usually do, put it down, and I usually put it like this. That way, if I wanted to troll, or just simply, lay my rod in there. For whatever reason, I'm changing up the hooks or changing out the tackle or whatever, you just put it in there. And the nice thing is it's movable, and you can go left, right, and however you want it, But I usually keep it here. So I keep my net here, so if I need to lift it up, I just lift it up and I got it. Not really in a way, as you can see. Coming up next, it's my front side camera. So what I do, I put it in here in the Scotty mount, and then lock it in and set the camera. Usually I just do it like this, or even more. I mean, you can go something like this. So I'll take this off because it's kind of in a way right now, but basically that's how it looks. Got the camera here. And this is a camera that I picked up for like 40 bucks. It's a Midland, but it's waterproof. And I can actually, from the seat, I can reach it. And basically, you know, whenever I catch a fish and I want to record it. Okay, moving on. Leashes. Very simple. This one actually I bought off eBay. It's a paddle leash holder. Get this out of here. So what I do with this, I take, as you can see, take this and just dump it in here, and then I wrap my paddle with this. I mean, it's just a Velcro. That way, like I said, if I was to flip, you know, my paddle is not going anywhere. Alright, these are a homemade leashes for my rods. So, this is simple as a telephone cord. You got the carabiners in the back, and then I picked these up at Home Depot. These are very handy. I mean, you just press it down. So what I do, I go here, I strap them into here, just like that. Keep it here. Yep. Got the same thing for the front. So when I put my rod in here, I just take this and put my rod on it and close it. Alright, going back to my milk crate. So all I did is put a couple of PVCs that I cut out some holes, drill some holes, and put a screw in. Same thing on this one. I got some extra stuff like, you know, multi-tool. Picked this up at Walmart. It's a knife. So basically there's a couple of zip ties here that holds this. In case I needed to use a knife or something, you know. And then I'll show you how I have, as you can see, I have the bungee cords, and they're simply just, you know, zipped up like this around the handle here. Same thing on the back there. And what I do, this side, alright, take one of these, hook it up here, do the same thing for the other side. Want to make sure that this is actually straight. And I got the same thing for the front, so you just take these, all that. You take this and zip it up here. Same thing with this. And that's not going anywhere. Alright, so that's how I have this rigged up. I also have another camera which I mount on the back. Yeah, just put it like this. That's all on the milk crate. actually came with this camera. It's OD, I forgot exactly the name, ODVR. So that's the back-facing camera. It's very simple. I mean, got it in here. Same concept. When I travel, I just flip it down like this, and that makes it fit a little bit better in my car. All right. So that was the camera, and then this is my anchor. And the way I did this, I have a retractable clothesline. Sorry for the bad lighting right now, but my light just died for some reason. Anyway, this is a retractable clothesline that basically replaced the cord that was actually going in there. And hold on, let me take this out. All right, it's a 3-pound anchor that is basically, you have a paracord going to my retractable clothesline. The benefit of doing that is that when you're retrieving it back, you don't have to deal with the line. It actually gets pulled automatically. So before I had this, I had line all over the place here, so it's easier for me to do this. The only downside is if you are in a current or something, I wouldn't recommend doing something like this. I'm usually fishing like lakes, very calm waters, and so I don't really worry about that. But you can get stuck, and what you would have to do is you would have to actually cut the line. There is no way to actually get this detach yourself from your anchor if you need it to really quickly. So I mean, I would just grab the knife and I would just cut it if I needed to, but